for you. Well, now it's time for the freshness that was forgotten. And it's just this way at the Dim Carnival.
Welcome back to the Dim Carnival, everybody. I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And this episode is for the people, the very people listening. This week, we are talking about Forgotten Freshness Volume 4, the first 5 tracks off of that bad boy. We're talking about Intro, The People, Clown Walk, If I Was King, and Dear ICP. And let me tell you, everybody, a couple of rough ones on this, let's listen through. But I will say that it is nice to be listening to ICP again. It's like it's winter and you're wrapping yourself in a warm blanket and you're just remembering just how cozy you're wrapping your hands around a nice warm mug of cocoa and just taking a nice sip. It's nice and comforting and refreshing. Am I right, guys?
Love it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's great to be back. That's what I'm saying.
I was very excited to get that feeling again of having it's ICP. Okay. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time since a rock and roll. Let's do a quick overview here. This was a rarities album, somewhat, that was released on November 29th, 2005. And it has a shit ton of original songs on here.
It seems like, Forgotten Freshness is a misnomer.
Yeah, out of the 17 tracks that are on the album, 8 of them are just brand spanking new. So they had like some rarity. They're like, oh, we got enough rarities, but you know what? We should just really make it worth everyone's while. And that's just the first disc. And then the second disc is all the Hollow Wicked songs. So that's cool too. And we'll get there in like 6 weeks or whatever. But, right now we're talking about the first tracks off of here. And you know what? Another thing that's nice about this is there's like, these first 5 tracks, we don't have like a bunch of guest stars or anything. It's just straight up ICP. And for the most part, it's 2005 era ICP. So it's like the current, the post first deck of the 6 Jokers cards. Anything else to say before we dive in, or shall we get right to it?
I'm good.
Ready to go.
So let's go ahead and do the intro. If you haven't talked about it, you're just like us. But if you haven't listened to it, go ahead and take a listen right now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, into the demented minds of the insane clown posse. Thank you for joining us for yet another of the many amazing exhibits and rides we have to offer.
This track was scrapped from Tunnel of Love. This was supposed to be the original Tunnel of Love intro, and it's got Legs Diamond on there. Been a while since we heard old LD.
Yeah, Legs is great. Legs is outstanding on this, I believe. My opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Legs doing an intro, doing his carnival barking, and it's good stuff. What is the Guess Who's Coming to Your Big Town Juggling? That's from Kiss the Clown, right?
No, actually, that is it's the outro on Stomp, on Tunnel of Love, which I assume they used because they wanted to keep this music in that they either found or made, this carnival organ. Sounds so good.
Was Stomp the last track? Was Tunnel of Love supposed to come in with this and go out with this?
No, I think. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember specific. I think Stomp is in the middle.
Oh, okay.
But in the intro to Beverly Hills 50187 is Kiss the Clown, and so that is, they took that sound clip. But this music and all the other parts, jugglers, that part, it's at the end. Guess Who's Coming to Your Big Town? That's at the end of Stomp.
Yeah, nice. And you're correct. Stomp is in the middle because, of course, When I Get Out or First Day Out is the last track.
Yeah.
When I Get Out, whichever. I closed the tab already, so we'll never know. But yeah, this is really fun. Get you in the mood to listen to some ICP. Maybe like this is like the platonic ideal of ICP intro, huh?
I really like, it's kind of like, they've been away for a while as well. Lakes is coming back and he's like, hey, everybody, remember us? Remember what we do? Like, yeah, we're going to fucking kill you. And it's like, I especially love the line when he says, like reminding them that it's their fantasy that's going to become their reality. Or, he says our fantasy.
Yeah, you're real. Yeah.
Is going to become your reality.
Nice.
And that just makes it seem like so personal, like it's their true purpose, to come and like kill these people. It's great.
Yeah, for sure. Just to like refresh everyone. It's ICP coming back because, the last ICP thing we heard was The Calm, which was, also from this year, but, a little bit out of character for as far as ICP, goes. So 2004, they drop Hell's Pit. They finish up the first deck of the Joker's cards. And then, Psychopathic Rider's album. You get the Calm EP. Then there's a couple Twisted, CDs, and then Supervillains, which they poured a lot of time and energy into and are still, on Forgotten Freshness 4, still very much in the hype cycle of Supervillains. So yeah, it's them coming back and putting on, slapping on that grease paint again and get ready to murder some.
It's just funny to me that it's coincidental, that of course they would start with the intro track that they scrapped, but it's weird to imagine how, like tonally the album would have changed if Tunnel of Love started with this instead of whatever I remember is like a really creepy sex sounds, like
just wet sounds,
long and slow slurping. Because this will get you pumped up, and then you go right into Cotton Candy. It's like a whole different thing.
Oh yeah, no, I like honestly like this feel like this would go so well right into Cotton Candy.
Right.
Like,
totally different vibe.
Hey, Cotton Candy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But instead, no. Anything else to say about this track? It was fun.
Love the beat.
I just real quick question. Did you ever get this, Bill? This album?
Forgotten Freshness 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember buying this and listening to it.
Yeah, I definitely bought it. I think I only spun it once, maybe twice.
Okay.
And I think I maybe like half listened to the Hallowicked CD while I was distracted.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was just curious. There's certain songs off the album that I ended up picking off and putting on a playlist later on. But I just remember like putting this album on and this coming on, that intro, and being like, fuck yeah, this is going to be badass. And having like good connections to older, or, the other three, Forgotten Freshness. And then, not being as excited throughout the rest of the album as much as I would have, as what I was thinking I was going to be with this intro.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Shall we move on then?
Yeah.
Cool. Let us talk about, The People. And if you haven't taken a listen to The People, go ahead and take a listen right now.
Trees growing out of the dirt for us to climb on. Beats attacking your ears for us to rhyme on. On time with a bag of perk. 3 fine dimes putting shags to work. We on both sides of the river, all around the ocean.
So I have a question about this. This is supposedly produced by Fritz the Cat. And it's a nice chill song that is for, like, it would fit I think it would definitely fit in on the Calm EP. Mm-hmm. It's just like a nice laid back, like celebrating not just the people, the very people listening here, but also just celebrating like Earth and celebrating life and celebrating nature. A lot of nature celebration going on here. And celebrating people from all backgrounds and all climates. But the crazy thing to me about this song is like I'm positive that I have heard this song like somewhere, but not necessarily from listening to this album. I think that maybe I've heard them play this song live, or this song has been used in something else or on some other album or something, because like I feel like I know the chorus of this song too well for it to have just been from Forgotten Freshness 4.
My recollection of where I saw it first was during the ICP stream in December, when during one of the breaks when they play usually the same 4 music videos.
Yeah, no, that's it. That would be it.
Yeah, and then they played this one. And I was like, whoa, shit! I wonder what era this is from, because we're kind of in an era now where it's going to be really hard for me to tell how old ICP are. You know.
There's also apparently a music video. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I watched the music video.
They showed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you should watch the music video. Well,
It's
I mean,
just
they
old
showed it in the stream,
Yeah.
but
Cool. It's all about the people.
but you listening here should watch the music video.
Yeah, all the very people listening.
It's the music video is mostly a slideshow of pictures of juggalos, all different types of juggalos.
Yeah.
Mixed in with some footage of fake footage of Jay and and Shag's in the booth rapping and doing some dance skills.
This is a really fun, chill song. There's a lot of like really good nuggets in here. You don't think so?
No, I agree, man. Well, first of all, like it's that good. It's that they're tapping into that Juggalo family vibe or whatever. So it's that kind of communal thing. Fritz's production on it is like real simple, like hi-hat snare kind of thing. But then he's got this like drippy, echoey guitar that's like tuning down or whatever. It's just like dripping all over the place. And so it makes it feel like warm and kind of togethery, I guess, is how I feel about it.
God bless him for assuming that any juggalo would be blasting Real Underground Baby ever, let alone a year after Hell's Pit came out. But my favorite part is Shaggy saying, "I got a robotic arm, and don't nobody know it. I can rip your whole head and throw it."
Yeah, there's some great lines.
No one knows about my robotic arm.
Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, this is the first time they've ever referred to Fago as Go, right?
I made that same note. Grease paint and a bottle of Go. I never heard that before. I wonder if
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I loved the way they threw in put the hatchet in your ear holes. I thought it was a great way to just, like, say, listen to Psychopathic Records.
Listen to our label and only our label.
Yeah, I love the way in Shag says mountains.
Dude, without a doubt, far and away, my favorite part of this song is the minute and a half of Shaggy shouting out people from different locations.
Yeah.
For all the people living downtown, for all the people living in the forest.
It's great. I had this song on my playlist, and so this was always a song that would come on. I'd just get all the fuzzies and warm feelings in my heart.
I love it. I love the couplet of "For my people on the island, for my people in the crops." But I also love that he just starts listing like Magic the Gathering dual lands. He's like, people in the swamplands, people in the tundra.
Yeah, that's my favorite couplet right there.
Yeah. And of course, the summation of the song is "For my people everywhere that call themselves juggalos."
So now, is that a caveat for the whole list, that it's all the people in the trees and the Orient?
I feel like it can be used as like I think it has a dual meaning. I think it can be read as all the people I listed as long as they call themselves juggalos, but I just think I think more than anything it's a catch-all. Like, it's for all the people listening here, but if I missed anyone, it's for all the people everywhere that call themselves juggalos.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good job, Bo.
It would be exclusionary, but I think that there's a reason why the song's called "The People" and not necessarily like "The Juggalos" or "My People" or whatever.
so they're trying to reach out a little bit.
Well, they just wanted to make a chill song, and it's for everyone who's listening to it.
I think this video is when Violent J has the black, like, greaser hair, like when he actually has a haircut. Y'all familiar with that look?
It's very rare.
Yeah, you only had it for a
You
minute.
usually have like a pompadour or something.
First Violent J.
Well, he did
No,
the,
it's
like,
like,
black
Steve.
spikies.
You know, Steve, it's like when John Cena came back, last year.
Oh, yeah.
John Cena, but with the swoopy Lego hair.
Yeah.
One of the 9 haircuts that were on the classic barber shop haircut list.
Yeah, he'd been so high and so tight for so long that he's like, you know what, I'm going to mix it up and get a haircut.
It's hard to tell in the video though because of the way that it's lit. You can't really see the top of his head, but I think that's what it is.
Are you sure it's just not your lit?
I'm always lit.
Did you guys take English lit in high school?
It was lit.
Mm. All right. Shall we talk about the outro of this song?
What's the outro?
Outro.
I don't know the outro because I only watched the video.
Cool. All right. Steve, you want to talk
Why
about
don't
it?
you tell me about it?
It's like at a carnival. There's like a carnival barker trying to like bark people into a tent, but the guy and the girl won't stop talking. So he punches them both.
Yeah. Shut up, I'm talking.
That was what my first job was when I was a production assistant. I was a production assistant.
Stand on the corner and punch anybody who walks up.
Nah, we were filming a commercial in a hotel, and there were guests staying. We were shooting in the pool, and there were guests like in the outdoor dining area. No, it was a travel company commercial. It was directed by Bob Dylan's son, but not the cute one. But my first job when I first got there, they're like, all right, when you hear speed, like when they're rolling sound, you got to turn to all these guests who paid money to be here, and you got to yell at them to shut up. And the guy told me, he's like, I can tell you're like a sweet guy. You have to be mean because they won't listen to you, so you have to yell at them. And I was like, all right. And so for the first half of the day, every time they rolled sound, I just yelled at these old people.
Move your
Be
ass,
quiet.
stupid ass. You should have done it with the Legs Diamond voice.
I mean,
Shut the
not
hell
a
up,
bad-
numbnuts.
Not a bad gig. At the end of the day,
Did you clown walk?
I didn't do any clown walking. I didn't know about clown walking then.
And no one did, because that's the song we're talking about next. If you haven't taken a listen, take a listen to Clown Walk right now.
Back for the shotgun, let it all loose. Right foot up, stomp to the ground. Stomp 180, turn it around. Put your left foot up, stomp to the ground. Stomp 180, turn it around. Everything on big time, big so don't find me, my homie Remy Ho. Let me introduce y'all.
This is a Clown Walk. It's the song.
You said it.
It's a song. I like points to them for being like, you know what? Everyone's got the sea walk, the crip walk. Like, you know what? We're gonna have the clown walk, and it's just walking as far as like.
What? No, there's turning around.
Left
No,
foot up.
yeah. And then you stomp, and then you turn a 180, and then you do it, and you just sit there and you just keep moving it, like spinning in a circle. You don't actually go anywhere. Just
Right foot up, stomp to the ground,
turn 180.
then turn right 80, turn it around, left foot up, stomp to the ground.
Wait,
It's like you're just like you're doing the sumo like leg up, boom, then you pivot, and then you do the sumo with the other side, and then pivot. So you're actually not walking.
Yeah.
You're missing a key couple steps here. You have to step forward
Shotgun, let it off.
backwards.
Step forward, backwards.
Turn the top wise front ways.
You use your main finger on turn it top side.
And then you shake it all about.
Yeah, step forth backwards, shotgun, let it off. So you step forth backwards. So you rock forward backwards. I assume do a shotgun motion. I don't know what shotgun, like drink a beer. And then you put your right foot up, stomp, turn it around, Then you left foot up, stomp to the ground, stomp 180, turn it around. And now you are a man.
Step forth backwards. So that to me, it means like approaching, but backwards. So you step back and you stand up, and then shotgun, let it off. That's got to be rack and fire shotgun, right?
Step forth backwards. It's like a shooting star. It's
Imagine if like somebody's trying to step up on you, right? You like step up, step back and step up, like put your chest out, right? Like take a step back,
Oh, you don't take a step back, Ryan.
Well, you're coming in backwards. You're stepping forth backwards. So your ass is coming in no matter what.
This is how you set it off, certainly.
It's a really dumb song. But
it's not the worst song we listened to this week. We'll get there.
But a song with instructions, a song with a dance and instructions, like a Shania Twain song, right? Where in the middle of it, they stop and they tell you how to do the dance.
Okay, so you're a rocket scientist.
Right.
That don't impress me much. You do the clown walk and I don't want you to touch. Don't get me wrong, I think you're all right. Step forth backwards in the middle of the night. That's Shania Twain.
Stomp is the song where the Kiss the Clown came from in the intro track.
Ooh, that's meta.
Yeah.
It's meta-zord.
I feel like this track content is juvenile. It's terrible.
Is slight is
it's not, yeah, and and it's paper thin,
insubstantial.
But I think the music is actually pretty good. It's like a kind of an industrial techno-y video game type sound to me. I like it a lot. There's one lyric that I picked out. I believe it's Violent J. He says, "I dance up and down steps when I gotta. Put your right foot up, stomp to the ground." I haven't seen the Joker movie.
Yes, he does dance up and down steps when he's gotta. So Joker ripped off Violent J.
Oh.
I prefer to think I dance up and down steps. I prefer to always imagine the Jimmy Cagney dancing down the stairs, which is the most baller ass shit I've ever seen. If you've never seen Jimmy Cagney dancing down the stairs, please Google that because it fucking rules. Ryan, if you can find a clip and put it on our Instagram or something.
Cagney stairs.
Cagney stairs. It's very short, but it is. You'll never want to walk downstairs another way again, and if you try to walk downstairs that way, you'll break your goddamn neck. All right.
I'll walk 100 miles out of my own way to avoid some Cagney stairs.
Well, you know how I'll walk, Steve.
Clown? What?
No.
Oh.
I walk for miles inside this pit of danger. A place where no one follows me. I walk alone.
I was trying to ignore it. You wouldn't stop.
Animal control. All right, should we talk about the next song?
Yeah.
Next song is "If I Was a King," and if you haven't listened to "If I Was a King," go take a listen right now.
If I was a king, you motherfuckers wouldn't have to worry about a damn thing. I got this bitch. Shit's under control. I got this bitch. Shit's under control. If I was a king, there wouldn't be no generals. I'd call the shots, pimp cups with
I nailed it. I'm still landing on that one. So "If I Was a King," we discovered this as we were setting up for this episode. It's the much worse version of Blam off of the Wraith Shangri-La. It's a very Egyptian flavor, Indian flavored. I don't know what cultural they're appropriating here, Ryan.
I feel like it's it's meant to be like a Middle Eastern or maybe Northern African, Egyptian a little bit.
Sort of
the pharaoh. Well, they mentioned snakes a lot, and so I don't know. That's like a Middle Eastern, right? Imagery, snakes, Middle Eastern, North African.
Yeah. So "If I Was a King," they're talking about all the stuff that they would do, and most of it has to do with assaulting or objectifying women. So it's not great, but I do think that the third verse goes a long way towards at least pulling, like, making the joke a little bit more explicit, because, like, so they're talking about, like, oh, if I was a king, everyone would walk around naked, all my friends would be rich, and we'd everyone have to have sex with me, and I grab the ladies and we put them on display, have 5 women lick him a butthole. Mostly it's just like, you know, we're gonna have sex a lot. But I think that Jay does a good job of, like, making the joke or the statement really explicit in the third verse, because he's like, you know, if I was a king, I fire arrows into my own city. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, if they get hit, then I guess they're just more lucky. And, like, I'd send assassins to kill all other kings, and, like, I'd set fire to everything. And it says, bent on power, this king wouldn't care. So, like, I think that he does a good job of being like, yeah, if I was a king, like, should be tight, but if I was a king, like, the power would go to my head and I would fucking be a horrible person and everything would be bad for everyone but me. So I think that at least this song has that. And the other thing that the song has going for it is Shaggy talking about if he was king, he would have his testicles replaced with huge diamonds inside of his nutsack.
No, I think it's actually explicitly supposed to be what it's supposed to be about, how power corrupts. Because
sure, but I think that, like, at least for the first verse and a half, like, anyone who's not listening to the song closely would be like, yeah, it'd be cool to be king if you just have women walk around naked. Like,
well, I mean, obviously you got to listen to the whole song, man.
Well, no, I know, but I'm saying, like, if they didn't make it explicit, it would be a much worse song than it is.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's as bad as it is. Because really, to me, what the first verse is an indulgence in the masculine ideal of domination, right? So it's almost entirely about, like, dominating women, you know? And so I think that unfortunately gives a lot of insight, you know, into, like, what masculinity teaches us, like, is valuable or whatever, to value above everything else. And if we have the power to exploit it. And so
the first verse is how Donald Trump got elected.
Right. But, you know, at first he's like, well, first thing, if I was the king, I got to take care of me, right? So it's blowjobs. First line is blowjobs. But then he's going to hook up all of his friends. So it starts off like, you know, I'm going to hook myself up, but then I'm going to hook up all my friends and we're going to all hang out and be rad. And, you know, and all the chicks are going to be super into it. They're going to love us because we're the kings or whatever. And
be the best at war, and women wouldn't be allowed to wear clothes.
Right. And so there's a lot of misogynistic shit and whatever there. But then there's the hook where he's like, if I was a king, you guys wouldn't have to worry about anything. Like, I got it. Everything's under control. Everything's going to be good. And then right away, I'm pissing in my halls. You clean it up. You know, like, I'm sleeping in for weeks. I ain't doing shit.
Yeah, this song is like you were saying, like, this song is like the epitome of, like, it's a one and done, like, here's everything about masculinity and what toxic masculinity longs for and what it breeds and what it holds in high regard. And also, like, the thing that strikes me about that is, like, since it's so laid bare, it's very obvious, like, how completely juvenile it is. Like, it's little kid shit, you know, like, and that's what's, like, so insidious and, like, horrifying about masculinity is, like, it's what a fucking little boy who doesn't know any better in grade school would be like, yeah, and everyone would have to, like, all the girls would have to be naked all the time, and all my friends would be rich, and we'd be the best at fighting, and we'd just pee wherever we want, and no dumb mom or teacher would tell me I have to pee in a toilet Like, it's
Charlotte.
it's so childish and so like just ridiculously like moronic. But that's what has driven everything for so long, and it's so stupid. And it's while this is a bad song about horrible shit, it's sort of like nice to have a mask off song that like lays everything so bare, where it's like, yeah, all this shit sucks and it should go away.
And I mean, whether he intends to or not, like, or they intend to or not, I feel like Violent J and Shaggy are admitting things about themselves, obviously by the content that they're choosing to include, whether it's something that they believe or not. It's like part of that whole equation. Those types of thoughts, they all go together. So I don't know. It's not great.
It's also confusing to think about how 5 women would lick your butt.
Like I said, probably have to be, well, everybody involved must be pretty talented.
Yeah. You have to make sure a couple had like a really long tongue.
2 big ass diamonds. That would hurt.
Shining through his underwears.
Ouch.
Shining through his underwear.
My note was like, wow, it's interesting that if he was king, like you said, the chorus is, oh, you don't have to worry about anything unless, of course, you're a woman. that was my notes.
Well, obviously, he's not
and
talking
so
to
they don't.
them, Steve.
Yeah, because they're not people.
Yeah, your words, not mine.
Even though just a song and a half ago they were saying, this is for the people, except women. The people, except women. The people. When you do the clown walk. Dear ICP.
All right, shall we move on to the horrible last song?
Well, let's bring it on home.
All right. The last song we're talking about this week is called Dear ICP. If you haven't taken a listen, don't. But here it is.
Dear ICP, I was wondering if you could help me. I've been involved in a relationship for several years now, and I found out that this girl had an affair with someone else, right? So I want to stay with the girl. I feel real hurt over this. What should I do?
Sorry, I laughed at that.
No, it's worth laughing. Well, what I will say, I have 2 positive things to say about Dear ICP. By the way, this was a song that was recorded in '93 and planned for Ringmaster, planned for inclusion on Ringmaster. But according to the liner notes of this album, of the Forgotten Freshness, this song was scrapped because it was just too sloppy and crazy. But if that's why they didn't include it, that sucks even more.
I know it.
But yeah, the first positive thing I will say about this song is it makes If I Was a King better by comparison, because at least it's not this, because this is just straight up violence against women. This is a song framed as a advice column where people send in letters to ICP, ask for relationship advice, and all the relationship advice is like punch ladies and do what you want with them, basically. And if you're a lady who doesn't want to have sex with someone, you're stuck up, and you should allow him to have sex with you.
Well, there's only 2 types of women, and that's women who fuck every guy and women who don't fuck any guys, right? And so that's who's included in this song.
Your words, not mine.
Oh, sorry. I mean, this is according to ICP, because in the song that's it. Like the first one is like, oh, this guy calls because his girlfriend's cheating on him, and then the other one is a girlfriend calls and she's like, I don't know if I'm ready to have sex yet. Like, oh, well, we're going to tell your boyfriend to punch you in the face.
I would say it's not helpful advice.
How can they make...
I want to know, is this the first advice column? Because, I hope they didn't get a second one.
Yeah, I just don't know how they could consistently overlook this gap in their political ideology.
That was
big blind spot.
That's what I didn't get. When I remember getting this album and listening to this song, when it got to this song, and back when I was listening to this, I wasn't, things like lyrics didn't stand out to me. I was used to listening to songs that said awful, awful, terrible things like Cannibal Corpse and things like that. Just like rip roaring gobbledygook, and it was just
well, at least
horrifying.
You can't understand what Cannibal Corpse is saying.
There's that, but yeah. But I just remember like hearing this, and I hadn't really listened to. I don't know that even by this time I had really listened to Remaster and Carnival of Carnage yet.
Yeah.
I hadn't gone that far backward. I think I had at least listened to Riddlebox, maybe. So I just remember I could tell this was an old song, and it said it in the liner notes, like you said. I was just so dumbfounded by the lyrics, even back then, and being like, wow, this is really hypocritical to what they say.
Yeah.
And hypocritical to the overall storyline of what the clowns are. I was like, these are actually people that they would kill in their stories.
Yeah. I think that it's like largely just like edgelord bullshit, just like hipster racism of like, well, I know it's bad, so it's funny as a joke if I say it, which is not true, but I think that is likely the rationale behind.
Sure.
But yeah, like it's like you were saying, it's a very huge blind spot of like, oh, like the Dark Carnival demands that we kill spousal abusers, domestic abusers, wife beaters, and but we're still going to make jokes about how we do.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah. I was at this point, I was going to San Francisco State, and I don't know if I was taking a feminist class at that when I had this album. I don't think so. I don't think I had yet. But it was weird. Just, I was surrounded, and I was on a, San Francisco State college campus. And so, I don't know, how do you, like very woke was not a term back in 2005, but enlightened, sure. And that was what was happening. I was hearing things, realizing so many things I thought and believed that were still very, very toxic, and not realizing it, thinking I was actually very enlightened at the time and realizing I wasn't. Yeah, just good Lord, that was like a punch in the stomach to me, like just what the fuck is this? Certainly wouldn't show it to anybody.
Yeah, if they were putting together a Forgotten Freshness now, and they had a song with this subject matter that they hadn't released yet, I can't imagine that they would want people to hear that in 2021.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
I wrote, the note that I wrote, basically the only one for the song is, I'm glad we're past this. And it made me kind of remember when we very first started this, and we were all really struggling with the content on Carnival of Carnage and having conversations about how we were gonna get through this and be honest, with how we feel about it, and not have every show be a real drag. But I'm so glad that we're past it. And I gotta say that, to me, listening to it now after everything that we've gone through, I feel like it feels to me like they're trying really hard. Like this is a try hard to be a shithead song. Like they're really going out of their way to be as awful as they can. And Jay's talked on the streams about, or in the interview as well, that we mentioned so many times, about how they were trying to do what other people were doing or whatever. And I'm not trying to like give them any excuse or anything like that, but it just feels like a different effort. It's like an effort to please the audience. It's an effort to please the listener and indulge like that, I feel like, and make them seem like they're cool or something, which I guess they're always trying to do. So that's kind of a stupid point. But anyways, I hope you guys kind of pick up what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
The music is pretty all right. It's that old style ICP. It's kind of like heavy breakbeat, lots of different samples. So that was kind of interesting. We don't really hear that anymore. They're mostly doing original music now, or have been doing original music for a long time.
Allegedly.
Glorious.
But yeah, real icky song. When this song started rolling, I was like, yuck. Yuck. Because especially coming after If I Was a King, because If I Was a King, I was like, well, this fucking sucks. And then Dear ICP came on and I was like, oh no.
Right, it's gone from bad to worse. Did either of you guys watch the stream of the Juggalo Help Hotline or whatever? I don't remember what it's called. I didn't watch it either. But they did like a call-in show where people called and asked them for advice. And I'm glad that, well, I didn't watch it, but I would have been pretty nervous if this was what I had known about their advice giving, going into that format.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
I'll have to check it out.
I heard it got a little racist.
Ooh, that's cool. Great. Well, good night, everybody.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw some takes on Twitter. I didn't watch all of those streams in December.
It's 2021 when ICP lets us down all over again, guys. Have you heard of this fellow called the Joker?
Hey, I will say that there were several times in streams, especially Jump Steady, was really dropping a lot of really truthful statements about prison industrial complex and criminalization of drugs in poor communities, and making really, really good points. And the blind spot for these gentlemen is women and misogyny and sexism and homophobia. And so, sorry, I don't mean to just say women, but like non-cis, straight, like they have a big blind spot for that.
Well, it's because they don't fucking hang out with anyone other than straight white dudes.
I mean, I think they're trying, right? They're making some progress there. I'm gonna give them some amount of credit.
They're for sure making progress, but like when you don't hang out with women or people who aren't straight white dudes for the vast majority of your 40 or 50 years on the earth, like if kudos to them for trying to recognize and address the bad things they've said and done, but like it's going to take them a lot longer because that's just baked in, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it honestly, it never stops. Like you just have to work against it your whole life. So yeah, they're going to have to always try.
And we're here to fucking watch them like hawks.
Hold them to the fire. Well, when you watch with a Hawkeye, you get a chalk line.
Ooh, it's true. Come on.
Yeah, that was a cool line.
Yeah, it was. All right. Well, speaking of cool lines, the last bit of Dear ICP is a skit of sorts, which is apparently Mikey Clark calling to offer Violent J a wholesome country tune that he wants him to sing on.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Mushy Mustard Transcriber here, who has made several interesting annotations on Genius, in addition to the couple that our own Bill Handstock has added, I might add. And yeah, they say, what did they say?
This is an excerpt of a phone call from Mikey Clark, which was later put in its entirety on Riddlebox Oddities.
There you go. And they even link to the Riddlebox Oddities.
And someone downvoted this annotation, which I just upvoted to.
Right.
Like, so I'm glad that like now my edits are starting to get through and my annotations are starting to get through, because for a long time I was making corrections and whoever the fuck is has been given power over all the Psychopathic Records shit, which I know this shit doesn't get looked at or updated very often, but there's like a one or two gatekeepers for all these fucking songs where like I'll make edits, I'll like fix a bunch of fucking typos and shit, and then like 3 months later it'll be like, oh, you have Genius notifications, and I'll go and it'll be like, so and so rejected all your edits. I'll be like, all right, well, whatever the fuck, dude.
Wow.
Do you want to keep looking like idiots? That's fine with me.
Oh, what are these spelling corrections? I'm not going to do that work.
What are you, an editor? Fuck off. Fuck off. That's what they said. But yeah, Mushy Mustard's been doing some good stuff, and hopefully, I think that Genius has also tweaked how edits show up, in the sense that like at least on these songs the edits just show up, as opposed to like I submit an edit and it doesn't show up, like it's like in holding until someone approves it, declines it. So,
well, hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, but yeah,
then you're gonna go back and erase what you did.
Guys, the best thing about the takeaway from this phone call for me is at my earliest convenience.
Yeah.
Requesting that somebody call you back at my earliest convenience is, I love that.
That's very
I'm going
good.
to try to remember that.
Please do. These are work calls. All right, is that all we have to say about these 5 tracks, guys?
That's all I got.
In that case, let's talk about next week. Next week, we're going to listen to the next 5 tracks. We're talking about Madhouse featuring Tech Nine. Talking about Feels So Right, which was remixed from Shangri-La. Interesting. Talking about Homie. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Let me start over. Talking about Madhouse with Tech Nine. Talking about Feels So Right, which was scrapped from Hell's Pit. Be interesting. Talking about a remix of Homies from Shangri-La with Twisted and Mikey Clark. Talking about Stale and Bodies Fly, another song scrapped from Hell's Pit. I might know a couple of these. I mean, obviously I know Homies, but these might be familiar.
I'm looking forward. There are 2 songs out of these 5 that I actually am quite a fan of. So I'm looking
Stale.
No.
No.
Bodies Fly is a song that I absolutely adore. It's easily my top 10 favorite songs of ICP.
Wow, nice.
Oh, damn.
I don't think I know any of these songs. I mean, I know Homies, obviously. I don't think I know any of these.
Bodies Fly is, yeah, and it's a very... when we went to listen to Hell's Pit, I was disappointed that this song wasn't on there because I could have swore it was on the Hell's Pit because, like you said, it was scrapped from Hell's Pit. And so as I was listening to it, I kept waiting. I was like, how come? I kept looking. I was like, why isn't that song ever on this? And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, it's on a Forgotten Freshness song. That always happens with.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm interested in the next week. Not next week, but I'm interested in 2 weeks from now. Listening to what wasn't good enough to get on Fuck the Fuck Off. It's a song called Panties, so it's probably going to be real respectful.
I remember that song too.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody for listening. Those are the 5 tracks we listened to, tracks 6 through 10 off of Forgotten Freshness Volume 4, Disc 1. And thanks to everybody for listening. We love that you listen. We love that you support us. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Email us, dimcarnival@gmail.com. Rate and review on iTunes. And until next week, I'm Bill.
And I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And make sure that you don't listen past the closing song here, because we definitely didn't mess up the intro at all. What's up, everybody? I'm Bill. Oh, I should do the
I'm
whole
Steve.
thing. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bill. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the
Whoa. This is a new side of you, Bill.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dim Carnival. I'm Bill.
And I'm Steve.
I'm Ryan.
We'll sit on Ryan.
All 3 of those are the stinger.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dim Carnival. I'm Bill.
I'm Steve. Oh, come on. Seriously?
You sound like
You're like
Darth Vader.
You
got the Darth Vader going.
Sound like Darth Vader. Come on.
Well, you know when you pretend you're Darth Vader by talking into a fan?
Oh, the fan? Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.